Hi everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 1, Episode 13, The Storyteller. So overall, I thought this was an okay episode. It didn't wow me, it didn't do anything like that. In fact, it was a little overly complicated, because it was almost split 50-50 with two different plots. Usually there's a main plot and there's a little bit of a subplot. This one, I could not tell you what the main plot was. I'm guessing it was the Bashir and O'Brien storyline, since that's what the title is more named after. So Dr. Bashir and Miles O'Brien have to go down to a planet, and it's kind of interesting. So far, I mean, we're a dozen episodes in, and poor Dr. Bashir is just like trying to be best friends with everybody, and nobody really likes him except for Garrick, and he doesn't really want to hang. He doesn't feel comfortable with Garrick, so it's kind of funny. And there's some awkward dialogue where he's like, "Don't call me sir, call me Julian." And poor O'Brien's just like, okay. So anyways, they go down to Bajor. I'm going to just boil this plot down because I didn't like it that much. And there's a race down there that there's like this other alien life form that comes to attack them, and they have to tell a story. And it basically gets them, like, it's some telepathic thing, and they don't know it, but it basically makes a shield around them, and then the alien goes away for a year. So, like I said, boiled it way down, but I didn't like it. It turns out that the storyteller chooses O'Brien to be the new storyteller, even though he's had this apprentice for years, but it's basically just to kind of, the rest of the people didn't have faith in this apprentice, so they did it to throw Miles under the bus, so they go back to the apprentice. I didn't like it. It's just overly complicated, and I just found it super boring. And so underneath this, we have Sisko is the mediator between these two groups of Bajorans, and their territories are separated by a river, and they both agree that this river is the natural separation. Well, it turns out that the Cardassians moved the river for whatever reason, and it gave one of them like 20 miles or kilometers, whatever, of extra land, and now they're trying to determine who actually owns that. It's kind of interesting. The little girl ends up being like the older sister in Jeepers Creepers, so that was kind of cool to see her. But overall, and throughout this whole episode, Jake and Nog are just obsessed with her. And so that leads to some funny drama, because throughout the episode, she's trying to like be this adult because she's in charge of these people, but yet she wants to just kind of go play with Nog and Jake. And there's a weird scene where like they're trying to steal Odo's bucket that he has to like sleep in, gel into every 16 hours or whatever. And then Nog's like, "Oh no, I spilled it." And then he just dumps oatmeal all over Jake. And then you get to the end and she's like, "I came up with a solution." But then they don't really say what it is. Like, she says something about a trade agreement, but there's no, like, you don't see that final dialogue where she presents her idea and the other side agrees to it or nothing. It's just like, I have an idea, and that's it. So overall, I didn't like this episode. I thought it was really weak. I just wasn't feeling it. So for those who have seen this one, did you guys like it? Did you think it stood out? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for the YouTube subscriptions. You guys all rock. And I will see you guys next time for Progress.